It's been often said in life, Donald Trump should know this, that when you lose the support of your family, you've lost everything. But in this breaking story and Donald Trump's second presidency, the loss of your sycophant follower family may be worse than your real family. And we're going to find out from Joe Rogan just how close that may be to the truth. I'm going to show you that story in just a few seconds, because Joe Rogan is one of the reasons why Donald Trump probably got elected. And in this breaking story, wait till you hear Joe suddenly going, ooh, maybe this was a mistake. Remember that interview Joe and Donnie did? Take a listen. I'm going to show you the story in a few seconds. Take a listen to some of the excerpts from this thing, because Donnie's off the rails.
About face from Joe Rogan. On the eve of the election, Rogan formally endorsing Donald Trump. He announced that decision after his interview with billionaire and Trump ally Elon Musk.
CNN, in all their brilliance, by highlighting your wild shit, made you much more popular.
If you take a look at North Korea, I was there. I mean, I was with Kim Jong. I had a great I got along great with him.
They reportedly developed a rapport resembling friendship.
I liked how you called him Little Rocket Man. And I love this Make America Healthy Again idea.
They asked me to run on a treadmill, and then they make it steeper and steeper and steeper. And the doctor said, it was at Walter Reed, they said, it's unbelievable. I said, Doc, I can do this all day long.
So I want to talk about 2020, because you said over and over again that you were robbed in 2020.
Yeah, totally.
How do you think you were robbed?
And I would bring in papers that you would not believe. So many different papers.
Oh yeah, I got so many papers. Typical Donald, always talking about what he has, but never really shows it.
They say that I don't believe it's this much, but it doesn't have to. I lost by I didn't lose, but they say I lost, Joe, they say I lost by 22,000 votes. Do me a favor, do you know Elon Musk? Yes. He endorsed me. By the way, he gave me the nicest endorsement, too. The tougher. He said, the country's going to fail. You should do the same thing, Joe. I've watched you. I know him better than he does. You know what? Without speaking to you, I think I know you maybe almost as well as your wife. I have watched you for so many years. You're not a Kamala person.
Your weave is getting wide. We're getting wide with this weave.
But isn't it
I want to
much
bring
better?
it back to tariffs.
But wait one second. Before we finish with tariffs, so they said, could you get him? We need Starlink.
Right, but there are legitimate concerns about environmental impact, correct?
Like,
look about the BP oil spill. There's a lot of things that do happen that are environmentally devastating.
Sure. I don't know exactly why. Maybe you can tell me why.
Oh, I could definitely tell you. You said a lot of wild shit.
I mean, there's no reason not to think that Mars and all these planets don't have life, because
Mars, we've had probes there and rovers, and I don't think there's any life there.
Well, maybe it's life that we don't know, but maybe
there was life there at one point in time.
And every time I had to deal with a country, when they saw this whack job standing behind me, they said, oh, man, Trump's going to go to war with us.
How ironic it is that Donald Trump believes there could be life on Mars, and as we've seen in his first 75 days, this guy might go to war. Yeah, with Canada, Mexico, and Greenland. So in this breaking story, what happens with Joe Rogan? Joe Rogan gets confronted with the truth about what Donald Trump's ICE department and Tom Homan are really doing. And it's kind of not okay.
But that's also when mistakes get made.
Right.
And I think a human being plucked out of nowhere and ending up in a country he's never been in a maximum security prison with gang members, seems like a bad thing to happen to me.
It's horrific. It's horrific.
I don't think that should be controversial.
No, that's not controversial at all.
So how do you determine, or how do your people in the field determine that somebody is a gang member? Do they get a chance to prove that before you take them out of the country and put them in to a notorious prison in a country that they're not even from? I mean, do they have any due process at all?
Look, due process. Where was Lake and Ronnie's due process? Where was their due process?
Well, the people that did that should be prosecuted.
On the subway, where's her due process?
And this is the thing, measure twice, cut once. This is kind of crazy that could be possible. That's horrific, and that's bad for the cause. Like, the cause is, let's get the gang members out. Everybody agrees. But let's not innocent gay hairdressers get lumped up with the gangs, and then, how long before that guy can get out? Can we figure out how to get him out? Is there any plan in place to alert the authorities that they've made a horrible mistake and correct it?
Well, if you think about it from a government perspective, and this is where I think it gets quite sinister, is once you've done that, the incentive structure is never going to be to admit that and deal with it. The incentive structure is to say nothing, to cover it up, to pretend it didn't happen.
But
right?
that is horrible.
So someone ends up in a black hole.
The sadder truth in America right now is it isn't going to be the mainstream media or the news that actually winds up turning the tables like Nixon back in the 70s and the Republican Party. It certainly is not going to be anyone from the GOP who actually chooses to stand up against Trump. No, it won't be. It's going to actually have to be people like Joe Rogan. It's going to actually have to be someone who's got the ears of 50 million, mostly males, mostly Caucasian, and mostly under 40 or 45, who decide, if Joe's changing his mind, maybe I should change my mind. And that's what's going to happen. And Donald, when you start losing people like that, that is literally the light at the end of the tunnel coming toward you, and it's going to be the beginning of the end. It may take a minute or two, but you keep it up. And eventually Joe Rogan will have, just like you do to others, Joe Rogan will eventually take it out on you, and he will not have you back on his show, even though you may want to be. And when he asks you to be, he may fire back at you more than you really prefer, as we've seen so many times in your life when someone challenges you. So folks, as I always say, stay frosty, enjoy your life, keep breathing, talk to those you agree with and those you don't, but stay frosty.